welcome to the stage.
Hey, wow, man, you guys made it. Okay, I mean, I was here at the first session like all you guys were, and the opening theme, resilience, great idea. Lots of good talks this week talking about resilience, but I have to tell you, after 3 days of all this information being pounded into your brains and 3 nights of drinking, there's a few people out here that don't look so resilient right now. I just have to tell you. But don't worry. Actually, my job now is to help inspire you and bring back a kind of resilience of my own. This is the best time ever to be a cartoonist. You know, it is like a target-rich environment out there, and social media, of course, is one of the major modes of communication, and they are perfect for social media. And as a result, for example, my cartoons are more read now around the globe than ever before. You probably noticed there's paper and pens that you sat down all around the room. I want to turn you guys into cartoonists. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to teach all of you guys how to draw Donald Trump. And so we can march out of here with several hundred new cartoonists at a time when they're badly needed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you some slides of cartoons and teach you some of the tools that you're going to need in your new chosen profession. Then we're going to do a little Q&A. We're going to do the Slido thing. So please, as I'm talking and we're engaging, fire up some questions. And then we're going to go to the drawing pad here, my old friend, the blank piece of paper. And I'm going to sketch some of the favorite people I've drawn over the years. And then we're going to close out with a drawing lesson for everybody. How's that sound? Does that work? Yes, it does work. Okay, let's go. So we're going to go to the slides first here. And so one of the things that when you're a cartoonist, or actually any artist, and you want to go to a museum and you want to learn about an artist, it really is important to find out, to see some of their early work. And so what I would like to do is show you a piece of my early work, because it's really revealing about the artist. So here is a cartoon I did when I was 6 years old. So this cartoon features Abraham Lincoln, the Gettysburg Address. But here's the thing about the cartoon that you guys need to take notice of. At age 6, all of you in this room were drawing. You were all cartoonists. And what you were trying to do was to capture the complex world of grown-ups in lines. And everyone was sketching, whether it was crayons, pencils, anything available. In fact, kids automatically go to it. And it's a really interesting thing, because look at the sun in this cartoon. Everybody knows when you draw a sun, it looks like that. But when you go out into the world and you look at the sun, there's no lines around it. But here, we try to find a way to capture it in lines. And I believe this ability to draw is etched in each of our DNA. As now you're going to become cartoonists, think of yourselves as professional 6-year-olds. So I started my career here drawing cartoons on the street. But when I was drawing, I was looking for cartoon jobs. My first job, believe it or not, 41 years ago, was with The Economist. And here I was drawing many of the world's politicians. In fact, I've probably drawn every major world politician over the past 4 decades. And some of whom, of course, provide more information for cartoonists than others. And American presidents often are some of the people that get a bunch of our ire. But we tackle, of course, issues near and far, but also we have to be topical. We have to be on top of the news, including, of course, the issues of Brexit going on today. And dealing with presidents like our good friend Donald Trump. And we'll talk a little bit more about him later. This one, my most famous cartoon. It's about the stock market. Just a normal day at the nation's most important financial institution. I've got a stock here that could really excel. Sell. It carries on at the bottom. Sell. The guy says, this is madness. I can't take anymore. Goodbye. Bye. And then the guy at the bottom says, I got a stock here that could really excel. So here's the story in this. I did this in 1989. And almost immediately, my phone started ringing off the hook. Stockbrokers from around the globe We're talking, Australia, Southeast Asia, Africa, you name it, all around the globe. And everyone had two things to say. First, they said they'd like a copy of the cartoon. Great. And the second thing they said was, this is exactly what it's like. And so for all of us that knows the financial world a little bit, there's a little bit too much truth in this. So in many ways, I've always keep on thinking, what is Vladimir Putin thinking about all this, right? Well, actually, the answer came to me this morning. I don't know, you guys are pretty busy this morning. Well, I am always having to check what's going on. There was a press conference in Moscow this morning, and Putin was asked this question, President Putin, how do you respond to the recent turmoil in the White House? So Putin thought for a second. He thought about it some more. He was really kind of chewing around what exactly he wanted to say. And it was really kind of throwing him just a little bit. But he did finally kind of pull himself together, got himself back up, took a deep breath, and his response was, no comment. Okay, so anyways, one of the questions people are going to ask you as a cartoonist is, where do you get your ideas from? So the thing is that, one of the things about being a cartoonist is you have to keep up with so many things that are going on in the world. And that's one of the hardest parts of the job. And to me, that's one of the biggest challenges at the same time. One of the biggest privileges of the job is to have the time to be keeping up with what's going on in the world. So once you've kind of worked out the kind of area that you want to concentrate your focus for your cartoon that day, doesn't mean you're necessarily going to come up with a cartoon idea. So what you do is you get some paper, just like the paper you're going to be drawing on today. Thin, just sketch paper, pencil, and I start to sketch out ideas. And what is curious is that sometimes you'll have an idea in your head, and you'll start to sketch it down there, and it doesn't really materialize. But the other times, when you've got an idea in your head that doesn't sound so good, as soon as you start to sketch it, it comes alive. And so it's an interesting balance between the eye and the brain. And you actually have a conversation with yourself. You have a committee meeting in your head the whole time trying to assess what's going to work and what's not going to work. So what I'm going to do now, though, I'm going to show you a transition I did of a cartoon from its first sketch to its finished product for The Economist. Now, here's the background. The Economist called me up on a Monday, and they wanted me to do a cover for them. Now, I've done over 140 covers for The Economist over the years. And they called me up and said, hey, we're doing a cover about taxing the rich. So they said, Cal, do you have any ideas? And I was thinking, I need a metaphor that addresses rich people. And I thought, fox hunting, very English. That's a great one. But it needed a twist. So how about if we make it not people chasing foxes? How about if we have politicians chasing rich people trying to get their money? How about that? They go, great. So I come up with this sketch, my first sketch. This is brilliant. My first sketch, have a look here. This is my first sketch. Oh, it's all there. I'm telling you, it's all there. But anyways, maybe it wasn't to most people, but to me. So I drew another sketch, and this sketch is a little bit clearer. Okay. And so I'm building here, and I'm doing another sketch here, and this sketch is getting better. And when I'm doing these sketches, what am I doing? I'm working on composition. I'm working on the way that this is going to be read, and also I'm refining the shapes and the various elements of the cartoon. The next sketch gets even finer still, and so you can start to see the people and the pieces as it starts to come together. Now, meanwhile, in London, they're working on the titles, and they have various different titles they're going to play with and so on, and placement. So eventually, when we get to an agreement what this is going to be, now it's time to paint. And when the final thing is done, it all looked like this. And it was maybe 24 inches tall, done in watercolor. And it finally, when it appeared in the magazine, it looked like this. Now, this whole thing, from that first little sketch you saw to this appearing in every country of the planet, 36 hours. That's how long it took. One of the key things you have to understand is that as a cartoonist, you have a really important role in the conversation that's going on around the planet. Because you're a cartoonist, it means that people are going to give you a chance when they may not read a whole editorial. They'll look at a cartoon. And so it's important for you to be a leader and an educator about the important issues of the day. So as a result, you're going to have to fire on and proceed with some bravery. And which brings me specifically to the cartoonists on the day in Paris when Charlie Hebdo was attacked by two brothers wielding automatic weapons. They thought, for some reason, that by killing cartoonists, that they could also kill laughter and humor an important part of Western society, the ability to laugh at ourselves and laugh at our politicians. So I would like to suggest that people may try and try and try to kill that laughter, but that in the end, we will get the last laugh. So that's it for the cartoon portion of the thing. You can clap, you can clap. This is good. This guy's good. All right. So what I'm going to do now, let's get some questions here. You can throw the questions up there if you guys want. What do you have when you have boring people elected as leaders and not exotic with defining characteristics like Gaddafi, Ayatollah? Okay, so interesting question. That's a good question, because often people will say, who do you want to be elected because of their looks? I'm telling you this. When I'm going to have somebody in office, I'm going to draw them a lot, and I'm going to look at them a lot. I fill my screen with photos of whomever I'm drawing, even if I've drawn them hundreds of times before. Partly because their faces change, but also because I'm getting to know their face that little bit better all the time. In fact, the people who are the easy ones to caricature are not often the people I'd prefer to have. I'd rather have the difficult ones. See them all the time. Try to capture that special element to them. Have memes replace cartoons? Great question. Great question. And my answer to that is, I think we've supplemented each other. I am so excited. I'm excited for democracy that we have this kind of growth in satire where anybody in this room, low barrier of entry, like so many new things that the web has allowed, is that you now can just get a photo together, put a few funny words in it, and then put it out there, and then you can be kind of a satirist of sort. If you're smart, you do it well. But the cartoons, as a result, guys are being paid to do this, like myself. You've got to do better than that. I personally like that challenge. So when I'm doing it, I can't do that stuff. I got to do something that's a little more thoughtful. Okay, one more question, and then we're going to do some drawing. We're going to have some fun here. I'm going to start off by doing a few sketches here of my own. I think I'll start off with some American presidents. We'll get some European politicians in here as well. So first is that the most distinctive characteristic that everybody in this room has is the shape of your head. And it's the reason why you can be recognized at a distance or behind. So let's get Al Gore. So Al Gore, what shape does he have? Al Gore's shape is pretty simple. He's got a shape of a head that is like that. Okay, so that's Al Gore with his eyes. So anyways, that's Al Gore. Right. You can clap. So go. That's good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so now I'm going to do Barack Obama, and then we're going to get down to our friend, Donald Trump. Donald Trump led this thing about him not being a real president because he wasn't born in the United States. He wasn't born in the island of Hawaii, as they say. And thinking about this, I was beginning to think that these naysayers might have something to it because he's got such a strong profile. Maybe Barack Obama wasn't born in Hawaii. I think with his strong profile, it is entirely possible that Barack Obama was born on Easter Island. That's what I think. So there we go. That's Barack Obama. Barack Obama. All right. Let's all do it together, guys. Let's get your pages ready. We'll do it step by step. Okay, so I'm going to start at the top here. Let's do a big smile. All right, let's go down here. We're going to do 2 lines coming down, and that's the wall. So next, we're going to do an arrow like this, an arrow pointing in this direction like that. Excellent, excellent. Let's now go to his bottom of his nose. Let's do the heart. Now, pointing down from the heart, let's go down. And we're going to do the oval. We're going to do a horizontal line here. Hurl yourself into this thing, into that black hole. Sketch away. Push, push, push. You've got it. That's right. Now, remember I talked about a dot? Let's go from that dot, and let's just throw a little dot there. And let's just do that U, that most fabulous U. Tremendously wonderful. You can connect back here to the nose, and let's go to the hair now. Just comb it forward, bring it forward, that's it. And once you've got that, you can go to the end of the hair and kind of bring pretty much a straight line down and curl it at the end. All right, so now here's the editorial part, you guys. Now you can manage this any way you think you can. First option, shoulder, bicep, forearm, fist. And that is your muscle man, okay, the muscle man. Second option, okay, we have a circle, and we got a triangle, and we got a string, like that. See what you can do there, okay? So we're nearly finished. We're nearly finished. We have two very important elements to do next. The first, I'd like everyone here to please sign your cartoons. But don't sign with my name to those cartoons. Okay? And the second thing, I would like everyone here, please, to hold up your cartoon and show me. Come on, hold them up. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Wow, man, that's a good one. Good job, you guys. Excellent work. And the fun thing about this is they all look like Donald Trump, seriously. But they're like as different from each other as your own handwriting, but they all look like Donald Trump. And now, isn't it cool? Isn't it cool? Being 6 years old is pretty cool, right? I mean, this is what it feels. This is the excitement, the thrill that drawing can get, the satisfaction. It's really an amazing thing. And so just a couple of closing thoughts I want to have on this. So the first is I hope you guys learned something today. I know I learned something. I learned that my job at The Economist is safe, having seen your drawings. I think that's pretty straightforward. But here is something that I know you guys have had tons of stuff hurled at you in the past 3 days. Really important business stuff that's vital to what you've done, and retaining it, and you're going to go and share a lot of that knowledge. But I'm going to just give you this little tidbit that I really hope that you do remember and that you leave this place with, and it resides with you for a long time. And it's the following. Just before I left the UK in the late 1980s, a Palestinian cartoonist was assassinated on the streets of London because of his cartoons. And what most people forget in the West is how potent cartoons are and freedom of expression is, and how lucky we are to have it, because most places in the world would not tolerate it. In fact, to be honest, in most places in the world, we couldn't even have this meeting. The police would march in, you'd disappear, you'd be arrested, and I'd disappear, never to be seen again. And our crime is making fun of the leaders, which you can't do. There was a recent report that came out by this group called Freedom House that assesses press freedom around the world. Only 14% of the world's population live in a place where there's freedom of the press. And that almost perfectly overlaps with the places where cartoonists can draw their head of state. So, here we are in a situation where we take for granted these opportunities. And really, it's only been a virtual nanosecond in the history of mankind where these freedoms have been available to people. So as a result, now that we are brothers and sisters in the cartoon world, I hope to feel that it is incumbent upon us to protect those freedoms, those abilities to say what we think. And also to be, if you hear the voices of politicians who would like to silence this stuff, including those in the West, that you would stand by my side to stop that from happening. So with that, I want to encourage all of you to keep on drawing. Even if maybe you won't get published, but you'll get a lot of joy out of it for a start, and then you'll spread joy to other people at the same time. So please do that. Keep on watching the cartoons in The Economist. I really enjoyed seeing you guys, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Thank you.